once I'm comfortable with you, you see a completely different side of me. Yes, I said chicken curry. I find horror movies hilarious. Please do not roast me. I just have to hear a little bit of Mashelle and I will perk up immediately. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Greer and it's lovely to have you here with me today. So far I've been doing these talking head videos where I give my ideas and opinions about specific topics, but I thought that today we'd do something a little more informal and that I would share with you a bit more about myself. So in today's video we're going to be doing a getting to know me Q&A where I answer some questions, most of which I sourced online and some of them I actually got from people who asked me on Instagram. So without further ado, let's get into those questions. So the first question we're going to start with is, where are you from? I'm actually from Guyana, born and raised there. Guyana is geographically located in South America, bordered by Brazil, Venezuela, and Suriname, as well as the Atlantic Ocean. We tend to identify culturally with the Caribbean. Did you go to university? And if so, what did you study? I attended the illustrious Howard University in Washington, D.C. Howard is an HBCU. For those of you who don't know, it's a historically Black college or university. That is where I did my bachelor's. So I studied journalism as my major and computer science as my minor. Have you been out of the country? I've been lucky to do quite a bit of traveling throughout my life so far. Traveling is something that's very important to me. I value learning about different cultures and lifestyles and languages. Do you speak any different languages? So obviously English is my first language. It's my native language. Ich kann euch ein bisschen Deutsch et un petit peu français. I do have a family connection to German and I also studied 4 years of German, so throughout my university experience. French is another language that is very close to my heart. It's one that I always loved listening to, and it's a romance language, I think, how can you not love it? What are your hobbies? So I have quite a few hobbies. At the moment, the main ones are reading. I'm very much into music. I do a lot of photography. I'm also into sports, so I watch quite a lot of sport. The sport that I play is badminton. I've been playing that for about 12 or 13 years now. Maybe I'll insert a little clip here of me playing or a photo or something like that. What is your MBTI? So for those of you who are not familiar with the MBTI, it is essentially a personality test or questionnaire that is based on Carl Jung's theory of psychological types. And so it determines how you as an individual operate on different scales. So my results were INFJ-T, and according to this specific test, those results are indicative of an advocate personality. What skill would you most like to learn? For the longest while, I've always said if there was one skill that I could master, it would be cooking. I can cook to sustain myself. I'm not saying that I'm like a 5-star chef or anything, but I just really admire people who know their way around the kitchen, who can put ingredients together and create something really beautiful. I think food, is an experience in itself, and so to be able to create that for people is something that I really want to learn to do. So check back with me in a few years and we'll see how I'm progressing on that. What is a common misconception others have about you? Something that I often hear when people talk about their first impressions of me is that I come across as being very reserved and quiet and even standoffish and aloof. I've heard those before. And I can see how people would think that, when I first meet new people, it really takes me a while to become comfortable around them. So I tend to be very guarded and I keep to myself. People who know me well will tell you that once I'm comfortable with you, you see a completely different side of me. I can be a comic. I love to laugh. I love having a good time. It's just that it takes a while for me to show you that. Describe your music taste. So I thought it would be interesting to take a look at how artificial intelligence describes my music taste. Jokes aside, I would say that my music taste is very varied and eclectic. I listen to so many different genres, from reggae to rap to pop to indie to classical. What is your favorite kind of cuisine? I think for this question there is a bit of bias. Guyanese food will always have a special place in my heart. Give me my callaloo cook-up with sweet plantain and a glass of mabi or sorrel, chicken curry. Yes, I said chicken curry. Chow mein. Those things, will make my day any day of the week. I think these days I'm sort of leaning towards more Asian food, so East Asian food, whether that's Japanese, Chinese, Korean. You know, I love my ramen, I love my sushi, I love my noodles. South Asian food, Indian food specifically. Give me that garlic naan, that chicken makhani, that chicken saag, those samosas, the mango lassi, the biryani. But generally I like food. I like to experience new foods, and so I like to say that I will try anything at least once when it comes to food. So the next 3 questions are questions that I got on Instagram. This first one is from Amanda. She asked, what is something that you still want to accomplish in life? So when I was a child, it was my dream to become a pilot. I still am very much an aviation enthusiast. While I don't see myself being a pilot, you know, as a career anymore, I do still want to learn to fly, at least gain my private pilot's license. The next question is from Omari, and he asked, what was your biggest culture shock when you started living in America? One of the things I did notice is just the way that people interact with strangers, people that you don't know. You know, they'll comment on like your outfit, they'll say hi and strike up a conversation with you. That's not something that I was used to, so it took me a while to sort of get acclimated to that. The final one for our first segment of questions is from Papa, and he asked, what are your top 3 favorite movies and why? Favorites questions are always difficult for me, but I'm gonna try with this one. So first one is Remember Me. I think it's the chemistry between Robert and Emily in this movie. You know, Robert Pattinson just has this undercurrent that I love about him. I was not a Twilight girly by any means. This movie, I think, is one that really introduced me to his acting. This movie also introduced me to one of my favorite songs of all time. It's called Anvari, and it's by the band Sigur Rós. It is a romantic drama, however, it is not one of those sappy love stories where the 2 main characters ride off into the sunset. That is all I'm going to say. I don't want to spoil it for you if you decide to watch it. The second one is, okay, I think you're going to start seeing a theme here. Please do not roast me for this. I will not apologize for loving this genre, but this second one is also a romantic drama. It is called Only Love, and it stars Kofi Siriboe and Yutha Wong, I think her name is. This one is set in DC, so again, a place that is special to me, and I think that is also one of the reasons that I would consider it a favorite, because seeing DC, this place that I spent so much time in, reflected and portrayed so beautifully is something that really stuck with me. And then finally, we have one that I spoke about in my 2022 favorites video. That one is Intergalactic. 2 artists finding solace in each other while they pursue their individual artistic endeavors. So I clearly love love, okay, I will admit that to you. So now we're going to be doing a bit of a speed round. I've got 10 questions here, so let's just go on with these. The first one, dogs or cats? I have nothing against cats. I think they're lovely. However, I have just always been a dog person. I grew up with dogs. I want at least like 4 to 6 dogs at the earliest opportunity that presents itself. So I will say dogs for that one. Phone call or text? For a long time, especially in my childhood, I had a lot of anxiety around phone calls. I used to have to prepare myself for a conversation. Like I would have to rehearse what I was going to say if I had to like order something on the phone or make an appointment. Those were very scary experiences for me. I'm a lot better at it now after having, you know, become an adult and having to take care of those important things for myself. But I still would say that I prefer texting. I know a lot can get lost in translation there, but you know, that's just my preferred way of communication. Coffee or tea? I do enjoy a good cup of coffee every once in a while, but if we're talking day to day, I am a tea girl at heart. I love my tea. Breakfast or skip breakfast? I love breakfast. I will have breakfast for breakfast. I will have breakfast for lunch. I will have breakfast for dinner. I will have breakfast in between those meals. TV or book? I think I'll have to go with books for this one, because as much as I enjoy TV, I watch a lot of TV shows, I think books are a lot more special to me just because of, you know, my attachment to them and, you know, my history with reading and what that did for me in my childhood and how it contributed to my development as a person. Shopping in store or online? If we're talking about shopping for clothing, I tend to get very overwhelmed very quickly when I'm shopping for clothing in store. And I think I just prefer to shop online because it's easier when you know exactly what you want. You can just quickly do a search and and find what you're looking for. City or countryside. Now I do appreciate the peace and quiet of living in like suburban areas, and I think where I am at the point in my life now where I need that social aspect. I need to go out and to meet new people and to be active. I think there are more opportunities to do that within a city, so I would say city right now. Horror movie or comedy movie? The funny thing is that I find horror movies hilarious. I always find myself just laughing at horror. I will say comedy for this one because I don't actively find myself going to watch horror movies. Usually when I do, it's, you know, with my brother. He enjoys horror movies and it's just like an inside joke that we have, you know, we're always laughing at the latest ones that come out, but I just always end up cackling at jump scares and things like that. Morning person or night person? I find that, you know, I enjoy mornings more. I'm more active in the mornings. I just love the peace of the morning, the feeling of a new day. Soca or dance hall? Now this is sort of an impossible choice. Having grown up in a place like Guyana and being in such close proximity to the Caribbean, you hear this music all the time. Soca may just have a bit of an edge. There's just something special to me about soca. I also have nostalgia surrounding that, you know. In Guyana, we have this national holiday called Mashramani, which means celebration after hard work. And so you'd have like these parades on the streets and you'd hear a lot of soca during that time. I just have to hear a little bit of Mashel and I will perk up immediately. So those are all of the questions. I hope that you enjoyed this one, that it gave you a little more insight into who I am, you know, the kind of things I enjoy and, you know, my outlook on life. So if you enjoyed this one, remember to leave a like, subscribe. What I'd love if you could do in the comments is just sort of introduce yourself, you know, say your name or where you're from, anything that you're comfortable sharing with me. I'd love to get to know you a little more. So take good care and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.